to carry criminals, treasury looters that are in government today, not our poor people.
We'll bring to you divergent views.
You know my position about his level of competence or otherwise.
On news making the headlines.
I didn't go to school so that people can intimidate me with their ideas, no.
Sometimes it gets confrontational. If you become governor, you're going to bring back Okada.
Of course.
You will bring back the market women back on the streets.
Excuse me, don't put words into my mouth.
On Core Digest.
Stop making innuendos.
Every weekday, we'll bring all of these together and take them to the court of public opinion.
Everybody has the right in Nigeria.
Where you are the judge.
Welcome back. One of the major issues at the front burner in Nigeria now is about the issue of tackling insurgency, and now we have the new service chief. I've been joined this morning by the chairman Coalition Against Corrupt Leaders, Debo Adeniran. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Emmanuel. Thank you for bringing me here.
Yeah, we have the hiring and even the firing of the service chiefs. Now look at the issue of insurgency in Nigeria. Do you think this is the right step in the right direction?
Well, the hiring and firing of the service chiefs is exclusive preserve of the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. He knows he's also a professional, unlike the former president and Goodluck Jonathan, who was just a symbolic, commander-in-chief. This person, the present president, Muhammadu Buhari, is a thoroughbred soldier who was a professional soldier, retired as a general, and he knows, he should be presumed to know his onion, and he knows why he had to fire those ones. But to us, as laymen in the military, strategies, we believe that if a couple of things must have gone wrong, during the period that the former presidents, especially Yar'Adua and Jonathan, were there. And that was the reason why insurgency menace could not be curbed up to the present time. I believe you can't continue to do the same thing the same way and expect any different results. And that must have informed the firing of the service chief. Because if you are using the same service chiefs that have been accused of so many malfeasances, then you are not you will not be seen to be serious at making a marked difference from what you have been coming up. What has been in place before you came in. So that might be the reason why you wanted to put a new wine in a new bottle. Rather than continue to.
Now, let's look at the former chief of defense staff, Alice Bade.
Yes.
When he came into power, he said he's going to nip the issue of Boko Haram in board in the next few months.
Look,
with the new ones coming in now, what do you think should be paramount in their dealings?
We can continue to analyze those guys because they told us a lot of lies. They made a lot of propositions that everybody, even the most lowly place in Nigeria, knew that they were only, boasting over nothing. When Bade came, he said that within 3 or 4 months or so, that he
came in February and said within April that Boko Haram will be a thing of the past.
So he said within the 3 months that the issue of Boko Haram will be a thing of the past. Everybody know, because that was the time, that was the highest point of war that Boko Haram had declared. That was the height of the time. They were actually capturing territories, kidnapping men, and even, kidnapping women and even some men, conscripting children into their own army and the rest of them. And he said he would finish them within 3 months. Everybody knew that he had nothing to do. And it was during his period that a lot of soldiers had to desert, because they don't believe that commanders like that, could help them to fight the war, could help them to fight the war and win. Rather, he was trying to push them into their death knell, and they didn't like that. Now, that was a period when the troops complained that they didn't have, the kind of weapons with which they can confront the sophisticated ones being used by the insurgents. That was a time when several foreign powers refused to assist Nigeria. Even those that have been assisting before, they said they no longer believe that the money and materials they give to us will go to the right places. That was the highest point when we lost most of our troops who went for that battle. So basically, the expedition under Bade failed. And you cannot continue to use a failed coach, for a battle. For a match you desire to win.
Now let's look at the past administration. They spent about 4 trillion naira to fight this insurgency, and up to this time, we still have insurgency ravaging us in our country, Nigeria. Do you think there's any corruption in that particular sector?
Everything they did during the time of the past regime towards curbing the menace of the insurgency was to feather the nest of those who are administering our lives, not to fight the war. As a matter of fact, it got to a stage when we thought that they were actually, increasing. They were actually stoking the embers of that conflagration rather than douse it, because the ruling party or the ruling cabal didn't even empathize with Nigerians. Anytime they see major, pogrom, what do we call mass killing? I don't want to call it pogrom because that will presuppose that selected people are being killed, carnage, was carried out by the insurgents. They go to somewhere else to celebrate it or discountenance it or pretended as if nothing happened. When they are supposed to be mourning, you see them on the dancing stages, campaigning and telling people that they are winning a war that was apparent to every Dick and Harry that they are losing. So basically, the past regime didn't spend the trillions of naira in the area of curbing the insurgency. Rather, many of them became super rich. And that is the work for the present regime to do. Because if they don't probe into the destination of those trillions of naira, others may take after them. And the present regime should ensure that whatever money they get to prosecute the expedition should be judiciously used, and there should be an oversight. Moving the command structure of the army to Maiduguri is not the thing. As a matter of fact, they are better stayed in Abuja and send troops and supplies to Maiduguri, because by the time the unexpected happens, you are likely not to have the command structure of the army again. So you are supposed to move the fighting first to that point where the fight is raging. So I am just saying that they should ensure that the oversight functions of the executive and even the legislators are not allowed to go into jeopardy.
But I've had quite political analysts and people on this show saying the moving of the command structure to Maiduguri was a good step and the right decision by the president. Though we've now seen series for the past 6 weeks now, we've been seeing the Boko Haram going into what we call the asymmetrical war, into suicide bombing.
Exactly.
Do you think, in your own opinion, that with this new service chiefs, this issue that is ravaging us in Nigeria will nip in bud?
Well, of course, it's already beyond nipping in bud. It is about cutting the conflagration to size. You cannot even give a time. You put a time on it when you are going to end the war. The war is no longer the physical one that you can see, troops against troops. This is a war that is just targeting soft targets like churches, markets, malls, and the rest of them. That is difficult to prosecute by the regular army, because you don't even know the next enemy. If you are in full-blown war, you know the enemies, you know where they are, you know how to confront them, you know the kind of weaponry they possess, you know the antidotes to, means of, protecting yourself, protecting your troops against such weaponry. But now you have bombs wrap around little kids' waist, and you can hardly suspect them because of the innocent look and the meekness you see in these young folks, except if the intelligence section of the security agencies are put through work, whereby explosive detectors will be mounted all around. This what we call it, CCTV, will be everywhere, so that if you there are ways by which you can, trained intelligent people can suspect somebody with sinister motive, even by the look. And that is why I subscribe to the proposal that the use of hijab or anything that will cover the faces, because when you look at somebody's eyeballs, there are some people who have been trained to know the eye movement and know that if that fellow is jittery, if he's agitated by one thing or the other. Some people will look at the way you take your steps. But if you wore a gun that is actually dragging on the floor, you can hardly see what the steps is like. So if it's like fighting against a masquerade, and if you don't know the character of the person that is approaching you, it is difficult for you to safeguard your own life, because there will be nothing to do. Although there is a limit to which banning of hijab and other puda and the rest of them can achieve, because people will still wear babariga, people will still wear long kaftan. But it will be, because most of the suicide bombings that we have seen happened with the use of this hijab, and that is why I believe Chad or Niger,
the Chadian authorities.
Even I think France actually banned it, although they had issues when they had to ban it. But now,
do you think that will work in Nigeria?
So I have just said that it will only, of course, if you know that is the trick they use, you have to cut it off, and that is what our military hierarchy should look at. Whatever you can cut off from it, once you remove that, you take away one of their strategies to
I could
people.
recall that the former PRO of the Nigerian Police Force, Frank Umba, raised that issue of banning hijab, that if we do that it will reduce the spray in suicide bombing that we keep seeing most of our young girls being involved into now.
Since a very long time, even we as members of, I was the national coordinator of child help and legal defense of rights to education in Nigeria, we have actually appealed to the authorities that it is not healthy for it is segregatory, for certain category of people to cover their head while others will not. That was even during exam malpractice, at the height of exam malpractices, that some of these people actually hire men to wear that kind of thing to write exam for them. We said that all of these things will not make you detect those who have criminal mind to perpetrate one crime or the other. Now that it has come to destroying people's lives, I believe that our Muslim brothers and sisters should understand, and it is actually not one of the 5 pillars of Islamic injunction that you should wear puda or wear hijab or whatever covers your face. It is not. Even in Mecca, when people go on pilgrimages, the Saudi Arabian authority would not allow women to cover their faces for security reasons too. So basically, if it is not compulsory in Saudi Arabia, if it is not compulsory by the injunctions of the Quran, I think people should see the reality on the ground and amend their own doctrine to suit the purpose of the social social situation that we have find ourselves.
But looking at the way we receive religion in this part of the world in Nigeria, do you think that will not raise any religion eyebrow to the issue of banning hijab in Nigeria?
They will want to raise it, but Niger Republic is more Islamic than Nigeria. It's also the part of Nigeria that is Islamic. I mean, that is known to be, heavily Islamic. The whole population of Niger are Islamic, and the only reason that, look, this will reduce the spate of bombings in there. They have not experienced as much bombings as we experience in Nigeria, but they took that initial proactive measure that if this is the strategy for the insurgents, then they should curb it. If they discover that, they devise another means, as they move, and the Nigerian army, the Nigerian security system should also move. But the main thing that we work is for the intelligence arm of the Nigerian army and Nigerian security, apparatus should just ensure that they work with the people to detect these crimes before they happen, so that they nip it in the bud, so that they will not allow the bomber to have detonated the bomb before you begin to rush to salvage the people. You should have high-tech equipment that will detect bombs or any dangerous weapons from the crowd, because you cannot frisk everybody one by one, but there should be a scanner of a sort that when crowds are moving or people are in the religious worship places, they are in the market, they are in the shopping mall, and something is detecting those explosives, and that, I believe, is already available in the world market. And so that if people are talking about spending trillions of naira on security, the security must be seen to be, the security strategy must be seen to be working. And it is then, we don't care what you even spend. We want to safeguard lives and property. We don't want people to die in droves the way they are doing in the northeastern part of the country. We don't want their homes to be destroyed. We don't want IDP camps again the way we see them. IDP camps themselves is another avenue by which people, also line their pockets instead of helping those that are in distress to live at least some tolerable lives. If you look at what is happening in the IDPs, no school, no healthcare, no anything, no water, no electricity. They are just living like ordinary low animal. So basically, it is Nigerians that should salvage Nigerians from this situation that unfortunate situation that we find ourselves, by ensuring that every money that is budgeted for a project for salvaging the lives and property of these people actually get to them. There's nothing wrong if the government actually build structures for them. Within 3 months you can complete structures that could accommodate these IDPs and make sure that there are amenities in it. You are talking about trillions of naira that has gone into the IDP thing also. Then why are you just suffering Nigerians who were chased away from? These people are not lazy. These people, most of them are farmers. They are cattle rearers. They are people who desire to earn a living by the strength of their own engagement. So why are you suffering them for a fault that is not theirs? So basically, the security agencies will not succeed until they make people happy living in whichever part of Nigeria they find themselves. If they are not happy, you can be sure that even within the IDP camps themselves, you will have insurgency, because people will get angry. And when people get angry, of course, people will be hungry because the supply of food don't get to them. The supply of medication don't get to them. If people see their children, their loved one dying, falling sick in their presence, and nobody is doing anything about it, they become angry. An angry man is a madman, and he wants to do anything to secure a life for himself. And that is the problem we are likely to confront. And those in there that are still in the faith will be angrier. That even if we go into normal, life, what are we falling back on? The soldiers themselves are angry because somebody sitting in the office is likely to take away the money for their insurance, the money for their retirement, the money for their...
Just a moment,
yes.
But why is it that most Nigerians, we are not sincere? When we get into power, we make promises, but when the power is given unto us, we start misbehaving.
And that is because we lack what you could call national ideology. All the political parties don't actually abide by any ideology that favors the interests of the people, that actually is in tandem with the needs of the people. If you develop a national ideology that will put a ceiling on how much money you can have in your covers as a personal person, or how much property you can accumulate, then you will know that even if you steal so much, there will be nowhere to enjoy the loot. And you will, Nigeria, based on that ideology, will have established mutual legal assistance treaty with all the countries where we filter this money into, and ensure that they don't have a safe haven to keep their ill-gotten wealth in those countries. The Saudi Arabia should examine who is coming there. Israel should examine who is coming, and they should disallow anybody that have any figment of corruptive tendency in them. They should ensure that they don't have records of accumulated wealth they cannot defend, because there are so much that so few individuals are having, why the majority of us, 99.9% of us, are being ravaged by poverty of different sorts. That should not be allowed. If it is not allowed, then nobody will get to government and want to steal more than he can justify.
I still have with me in the studio Debo Adinino. He is the executive chairman, Coalition Against Corrupt Leader. You can also join us in this conversation. The phone lines are on the screen. Let's have your comments. Now, Debo, let me take you on this issue of the checkpoints that the president dismantled, and now we are seeing them back, especially in the FCT. What's your take on all this?
Well, it's a mere waste of time. They could have surveillance units of the Nigerian Army who will not necessarily be on the road, but they have their fast-moving vehicles like these high-capacity motorcycles, and cars, and the mount equipment on those vehicles that can trace those who are carrying, illegal weapons and all that. So once they detect it, if they flag such a vehicle down and refuse to flag, then they send radio messages to the next unit who will accost them. And if they don't stop, then many of them will be, we take after such, cars and other, and reduce the amount of havoc they could wreak, rather than allow people to spend so much man-hour on the road, why you have to check people and freeze them one by one. That is barbaric. That should not be tolerated.
Just a moment.
Yes. And can even cause mass damage of life and property.
Good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You are on live to Call TV, and you're on Call Digest this morning. Can we have your comment, please? I think we lost that call. You can go on with your comment.
Yes. So, if you allow soldiers to put a barricade on a highway, you may cause accidents that will cause us a lot of lives and property. And if insurgents also get their acts right, of course, when you know that you have a highway full, like airport road in Abuja, full of vehicles and human beings, of course, what they need is just to drop a couple of bombs there, and you have so many lives wasted on such roads. So basically, we should avoid, if it is possible, any sin that will bring so many people and property together. And you know how many vehicles we have on the road at a go. So if they destroy all those, it is our economy that is also going deeper under.
Just a moment. Good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Mr. William. I'm calling from Anambra State.
Williams from Anambra State. Thank you very much for joining us on Code Digest this morning.
Thank you.
Can we have your comment? Could you please speak up, please, so that we can hear you loud and clear?
Yeah, one thing, our problem in this country is the corruption thing. The Boko Haram thing is not even the problem. It's the corruption thing is the problem. So we have to stop that matter, because if we call military, we send them there, whatever money that they brought out for them to do, we stop them to share the money before it gets there. So these guys are just doing it to sacrifice their life for nothing. And we are here crying. Some of us cannot even have a fair meal a day, but they are our politicians, they don't care. So that is my contribution. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Williams. You're still trying to buttress your point about corruption.
That is correct, because everything that even led to this Boko Haram thing can be traced to corruption. You know, there are corruption, even religious corruption, to the extent that when you are training these people, you are bringing them up. You only produce them, you didn't care for them as parents. Those parents who produce children without taking care of them, especially to the to the level of the first 9 years of schooling, should be arrested, prosecuted, and be punished.
Good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Hello. Good morning.
I'm calling from the state.
Your name again, please.
My name is Dr.
We can't hear you clearly. Could you please speak up so that we can hear you loud and clear?
Well, I have to commend you for your...
Hello. Can you just tell me? Can you just tell me your name, please, before you give your comments? I think we lost that call. Now, you're saying something about raising children.
Yes, I said that if you produce children and you cannot take care of them, you should be arrested and be prosecuted and be punished, because you know it is a deliberate act that brought forth these children. But there are so many folks in that part of the country who just believe in producing children. They marry so many wives and they do not have the financial capacity to take care of them, so they just threw them to the streets to fend for themselves. You call them admajiri, and they have to beg. And
these are a set of guys that wake up in the morning, they move from one house to another, begging for food, begging for everything. They wear rags. They don't. So these parents didn't care where they go and whether they die or they live. That is the beginning of corruption. That is parental corruption. Just a moment, Debo. Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from? Hello?
I think there's a problem with the line.
Okay, you can go with
so that is that could be called parental or familial corruption. You know, to the extent that you produce children.
Just a moment, Debo. Good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
Good morning. This is Rashid again from Gabon.
Okay, Rashid again from Gabon. Thank you very much. Let's have your comments.
You're welcome, brother. You see, as I was saying, also when I called,
okay,
I always make sure that I give you this. You know, intelligence, as my chairman is saying here, it is very, very important. Last Sunday, I saw you making the news, cutting out the news of the bombing in Jos. Yes, it will happen because these intelligence that we need, they are not in place. Who do we see putting bombs there? Nobody. So we must put this CCTV for every entrance of where people gather. I mean, if people gather somewhere and they say intelligence as you are this the other issue, it's a problem. It's a criticism. It's a problem. I'm talking about the bombing. All those gathering places, they must get CCTV to supervise who goes in, who comes out. Churches, they must give every church a mandate, even mosque, they should put their CCTV for every corner of their place, so that when somebody comes there and put something there, we know. And as my chairman said, all these women have put on, all these guys, I don't know how they call them, they should bug them, call them to their attention that we are facing a problem. And to solve this, let us do without this for in the meantime.
Thank you very much.
Then we can go on with our religion.
Thank you very much, Rashid.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now you want to quickly react to what you just said?
Well, of course, the installation of CCTV and other security equipment is, I mean, you cannot overemphasize that. If they did that, some of these bombings would have been stopped before they are detonated. Then, like I was saying, those kits, whoever produced them should bring them up. If they don't bring them up, it is the duty of government to harvest them, because it is contained in the United Nations Convention on the Right of the Child that they should be given basic education. And we have local laws that have accentuated that. The SUBEB, I mean, what do you call UBE laws? You know, they should.
Just a moment, Debo. Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from? Hello, are you there? Good morning. Your name and where are you calling from? I think we lost that call. You can just go.
So it is compulsory for them to access Western education, and even if you want to give them Quranic and Islamic education, let them what do you call it? Let them kind of infuse, you know, the regular curriculum into it, so that when they graduate.
Just a moment, Debo. Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Mr. Ogbonna. I'm calling from Abuja.
Mrs. Ogbonna from Abuja. Thank you very much for joining us on Code Digest this morning.
I want to agree with what your guest there is speaking. I really agree with. Yes, the farmers, you know, they give birth. Many children, they don't care. Like I said, they transfer them from Maiduguri to Borno. They don't know whether their children is dead or not. Like yes, I agree with you. It's parental corruption.
I think we lost that call.
Yeah. So because it's part of our law, part of international law, that the children must first and foremost be taken care by their own parents up to the age 18. When they become adults, you can leave them to their own fate. But then before then, they cannot take a decision. They cannot reject instruction from adults they see around, because at those stages, impressionable ages, they see everything that adults is doing as being correct, and they want to key into it. That was why they are ready hands in the hands of the insurgents. Where do they get their continual supply of human beings, you know, to do this fight and bombing from? It is from the army of these children. Now, they get their supplies of arms and ammunition from certain countries. Definitely, we don't manufacture sophisticated arms and ammunition here. Now, they get supplies of materials they use for these bombs. They get it from somewhere.
Just a moment, Debo. Good morning. Hello.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Your name and where you're calling from?
This is Helen from Cross River, Calabar.
Helen from Cross River, yeah, Calabar. Thank you very much for joining us on Code Digest this morning. Let's have your comments.
I want to congratulate the chairman and appreciate him for the constructive, argument he's putting across.
Okay.
I think I totally agree with him. I agree with every bit of what he has said.
Thank you.
I wish our government are listening, and that all these constructive suggestions, should be put into action. He talked about this long gown that they now use to come off. Like if you watch well now, these gowns are being shifted to other parts of the country. If you come to Cross River State, every look at trainer of Cross River State, these gowns are being sold. We don't know why. Shifted by these, they sell these gowns and so on and so forth. And I also want to the chairman, sir.
Yes.
What you make of this issue of carrying Boko Haram to different places, spreading them across, especially like the one that was taken to visit Anambra State, the place these people were taking towards a community. We have many Muslim people, citizens of that state live, and that prison there with life is not strong enough to protect such high profile terrorists. And this we are saying, is it not a security risk?
A risk, that's
why
right.
are you supposed of spreading them across? And these girls are being so every look and training of our nation. So I think I want to hear from you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. I want to react to the prison is called the Kodobia prison in
Thank you
Anambra
very
State.
much. You see, since a very long time, and this is why Nigerians should take us serious when we make, comments on issues like that. When Gani Fayemi of blessed memory was transferred from Lagos to Gashua, and MK Abiola was taken to Bama prison before he was brought to Abuja and all that, we were saying that, look, let him be detained in the environment where the offense was allegedly committed. Let Gani be in Lagos, where the environment where this is what they are cashing on, that after all, it is one Nigerian prison. But when they wanted to try Ibori, sorry for that digression, they created a division of Federal High Court in Asaba, despite the fact that Federal High Court is supposed to be one in the whole of Nigeria, and any suspect could be tried in any federal court in this Nigeria. They didn't allow that. So there is a kind of disequilibrium, a kind of lopsided attendance to issues of national concern. Now, people of Boko Haram status shouldn't be detained where where other innocent Nigerians are staying. Because supposing there is jailbreak, these people have learned the art of using high caliber weaponry, and their suppliers could easily reach anywhere because of our lacking.
But let me just pick you up on this same issue, because is it right for our government to even make it to make the announcement that they are taking them to that particular prison?
Well, I don't think they made the announcement. The information leaked out by part of those who are to carry out those assignments. But we have suggested that criminals like terrorists should be taken far away into the middle of the sea, where it will be even difficult for them to reach places where human beings are dwelling. There are several islands, around Nigerian waters, on the high seas, like Robben Island, that you can create. There is this, so they could be taken into that, or far into the desert. There are some part of the desert where no human beings live. Build, high capacity, maximum security prisons in those places, and ensure that they are properly guarded. So if you did that, they will not. And again, these criminals, they will be hostile to their own environment, because the natives will not want to go near them, and they will see natives as being hostile to them, and that could mean that their colleagues, their comrades in arms, could unleash terror even on those who are living in the neighborhood of the prisons where they are detained. So it is not healthy for them to do it. Now, I am also saying that all these army, the military men that are being used in the checkpoint should be diverted to the war front, because we need more men on the war front than on the street. The police should be empowered. They should be withdrawn from the VIPs that they are guiding. Let them do their own work. We also have security, these civil defense people. These people can be guiding the VIPs, and they can do all of this.
Just a moment, let's take our last caller for the day.
Wow.
Good morning, what's your name and where are you calling from?
Calling from Kaduna.
Your name again, please. Alaju. Hello? Could you please... Olano calling from Kaduna. Could you please reduce the volume of your TV sets? There's a hello. I think we lost. Okay, let's have your comments.
Hello, I'm listening.
Just go on straight. Give your comments.
This should not be carried down. They should just kill them because they have already killing people. There is no need for them to be carried up and down.
Okay, that's your comment. Thank you very much.
Well,
just kill them. That's all.
It is really not advisable that people should just be killed, because we cannot assume that those arresting them or capturing them are not capable of making mistakes. They should be put to trial. You cannot try somebody, out of the judicial process. You should subject them to trial, let them defend themselves. No matter how hardened a criminal is, he still enjoy the basic human rights.
Okay, then let me just finally, the final question now is, what's your advice to these new service chiefs in issue of tackling insurgency in Nigeria?
Then the new service chiefs should do what I call situational diagnosis. They should know what went wrong. Why is it that we allow the insurgents to amass as much powers, as much energy as they are unleashing on Nigeria before we started nipping in the ball? Now that we have found ourselves here, why is it difficult for us to put them where they should belong? They should ensure that whatever money that is earmarked for the prosecution of the warfare should be spent on them. They should give encouragement to the troops that are fighting on the side of Nigeria, by ensuring that they have adequate insurance, they have adequate motivation in terms of hardware that they have to use, and as a matter of fact, their own survivor in the jungle. They should ensure that they empower the ordinary, what they call civilian JTF, with intelligence, capacity building, so that they are at least will be able to detect who is likely to carry, such weapons of mass destruction, and at least call those who can stop them from unleashing the terror on the people. They should ensure also that the right people are made to be in the right places, and ensure that the troops are not sent into their early graves. Once they have intelligence report that a place is dangerous, there's an ambush, they should prepare them ready to combat that ambush successfully. Those will make it easy for us to defeat the insurgents.
The phone lines are still blinking, but we're able to take more calls again. I've been speaking with the Executive Chairman, Coalition Against Corrupt Leader, Debo Adeniran. Thank you very much for coming on the program.
It's my pleasure.
I hope the next time we invite you, always oblige us.
Yeah, I will. It is our duty, and you are also helping us to achieve our end.
Thank you very much. Now, the question is, wherever you go and whatever you do or say, do not say yes when you mean to say no. This is an advice to all our service chiefs, that go in there, hit the ground running. Until I come here again with another inspiring episode of Core Digest. Keep it logged on Core TV News. I remain your host, Emmanuel Ajayi. Bye for now.
You can now watch Core TV News live from anywhere in the world on our website, www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to Core TV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click Core TV, leave a space, then News. Core TV News, a 24-hour news station.